I want to give you responsibility. When I saw your performance, it made me grow 2 inches. So I break down, everybody sits me down. It was actually Sidney Poitier's birthday.
Wow.
They made me understand the significance of it.
So Rose McGowan has put Oprah on blast. Rose recently called out Oprah on Twitter over her past associations with some controversial men.
So, you know how it goes in the entertainment biz. Sometimes it feels like only the little guys are airing out their grievances, and even then, it doesn't always make a big splash. But lately, it seems like even the big names are fed up with all the drama and ready to spill the tea. And who's supposedly stirring up the pot this time? None other than Jamie Foxx, the man himself. Word on the street is he's not holding back and he's got some major gossip to spill. We're talking A-listers like Oprah Winfrey and Sidney Poitier being dragged into the mix. Now, these aren't just any names, they're practically Hollywood royalty. So, if someone's gonna start spreading rumors about them, you better believe there's gonna be some serious fallout. But here's the thing, Jamie Foxx isn't backing down. Rumor has it he's about to let loose with some scandalous claims. And get this, apparently he's gearing up to spill the beans about Oprah allegedly hiring him as Sidney Poitier's gay for pay. Crazy, right? I mean, we've heard whispers about Oprah's shady side before, but bringing Sidney Poitier into it, that's a whole new level of scandal. Rest in peace to the legend, by the way. Feels like he's catching strays even from beyond the grave. But hey, in Hollywood, it seems like nobody's immune to a little karma, even if they're no longer with us. So what exactly is Jamie Foxx on about? And how do these iconic figures fit into the drama? Let's get into it. Oprah Winfrey, as we all know, is basically a living legend, right? But here's the thing. There's this whole other side to her that's been flying under the radar. Sure, she's dipped her toes into some policy debates and all that, but there's this deeper, darker layer to the controversies surrounding her. And that's why when Jamie Foxx hinted at dropping a bombshell revelation about her, the internet went into full-on frenzy mode. Like seriously, people couldn't wrap their heads around how she could possibly be connected to setting him up with Sidney Poitier of all people. But here's where it gets interesting. There's actually some meat to Jamie's claim. I mean, Jamie Foxx, the guy's practically an entertainment institution by now. He's got an Oscar, a Grammy, and even a best-selling memoir to his name. So when he sat down for a chat with Access Hollywood's Scott Evans recently, he dropped a little nugget of wisdom about how his career almost took a completely different path, thanks to none other than Oprah Winfrey herself. In 2005, Jamie Foxx found himself basking in the glow of his acclaimed portrayal of Ray Charles in the biopic Ray, which earned him an Academy Award for Best Actor. However, amidst the celebrations, his penchant for non-stop partying caught the attention of none other than Oprah Winfrey. Jamie Foxx, thinking Oprah was just looking out for his best interests, finds out she had some sneaky plans up her sleeve. She made a pivotal call, summoning Foxx to a meeting at the home of legendary record producer Quincy Jones. Little did Foxx know this was no ordinary hangout session. It was an impromptu intervention aimed at shaking him out of his party-centric mindset.
Listen, man, you're doing good, man. We just don't want you to blow it, baby. So we go in the house, and there's all these old actors. Black actors from the 60s and the 70s.
With Quincy Jones channeling his trademark no-nonsense demeanor, the gravity of the situation became clear. Foxx recounts the moment vividly, remembering the blunt yet impactful words delivered by Jones. "You've done a great job on Ray, but you've messed everything else up now. You gotta buckle down, baby." But the intervention didn't stop there. Winfrey had another surprise up her sleeve. She introduced Foxx to none other than Sidney Poitier, a living legend in the world of cinema. Poitier's presence added a weighty significance to the occasion. Poitier's words cut straight to the heart of the matter, leaving Foxx deeply moved. He recalls Poitier's solemn declaration, "When I watched your performance, it made me grow artistically 2 inches, and I give something to you. I give you responsibility that from now on throughout your career, you'll be responsible for what you give and what you show." For Foxx, it was a wake-up call. He took Poitier's words to heart, striving to live up to that responsibility ever since. Now, while on the surface, it all sounds like sage advice and mentorship, some fans have begun to wonder if there was more to it, especially considering the lineup at Quincy Jones' place. Sidney Poitier, a paragon of virtue, offered words of wisdom without any hidden agenda. But Quincy Jones, well, let's just say he's got a colorful reputation. Rumors about him abound, and fans can't help but speculate if there was something more going on behind the scenes. Also, when it comes to Sidney Poitier, sure, he might not have been tangled up in any gay controversies, but that doesn't mean he was completely free from drama. Rumors about his temper have been floating around for ages. You see, folks who've known him since his early days as a stage actor in New York, like Ruby Dee and Ossie Davis, have seen a different side of him. Ruby Dee once said, "Sidney is like a smoldering flame that you never know will ignite and burn down the house. He's got this capacity for explosions that's just mind-blowing. It's like he's possessed. And Ossie Davis chimed in, saying that dealing with that temper in Hollywood feels like being in a prison he wouldn't wish on anyone. Now, Sidney himself doesn't exactly love talking about his temper, but he's admitted that he's got his demons to deal with. He describes his relationship with them as perfect, though. Why? Well, because he knows when to let them loose and when to keep them in check. He knows that keeping those demons under control is his biggest job, because in his own words, they're seismic. And if that wasn't enough drama, there's also the whole FBI investigation thing. Yep, you heard that right. The FBI had their eyes on Sidney practically his whole career. It's like he had a permanent spot on their watch list or something. Now, if you're even a little into Hollywood vibes, you've got to know Quincy Jones. He's the real deal. We're talking legendary producer, musician, songwriter, the whole shebang. They even call him the Black Godfather of the industry, and for good reason. Quincy's track record is a who's who of the music scene. Frank Sinatra, Aretha Franklin, Rufus and Chaka Khan, and the king himself, Michael Jackson. But why is he always making headlines? Well, it's not just the music magic. There's something about Quincy that's kept him in the spotlight for decades. There's always been this speculation about Quincy's sex preference, with some wild claims that he sort of nudged guys into gay relationships to boost their Hollywood game. I know, sounds scandalous, right? And the list of supposed flings linked to Quincy is like an endless scroll. But if we're talking about the juiciest bits, two names always take the spotlight in Quincy Jones's romantic saga. None other than Tupac and the Fresh Prince himself, Will Smith. Word on the street is that Quincy Jones might have pushed them into his own version of Hollywood sleepovers. It's this kind of murky connection with Quincy that apparently left a mark, with whispers that he was trying to, share his preferences. Now, flashback to this interview with Tupac, the guy spilled the beans, claiming Quincy popped the question about some, intimate backside matters. But here's where it gets wild, that interview, poof, gone from the entire internet, like vanished. Conspiracy or not, it takes some serious clout to wipe out a chat like that. And since Tupac's not around to give us the 411, Quincy seems to have pulled a Houdini on the whole situation, leaving us to connect the dots. Even Napoleon, when grilled about the supposed link between Tupac and Quincy, straight up shut it down in an interview. Dude denied the whole shebang and went into full-on defense mode for Jones. But you know how it goes, some folks out there still have a memory like a steel trap, and they're holding on to every word Tupac spilled in that interview, no matter how hard anyone tries to sweep it under the Hollywood rug. And this is not the first time Tupac expressed his frustration with Quincy about his nasty actions back in the day. Tupac didn't hold back on venting about a bunch of folks in an interview, and Quincy Jones was on the receiving end of some seriously bold remarks. Now, considering how tight Tupac and Quincy were during Tupac's career, there's speculation that Quincy might have tried pulling some moves on him, if you catch my drift. They were so chummy that Tupac was even thinking about ditching Death Row Records for Quincy's label before his untimely exit. Now, connect the dots. If Quincy made those moves on Tupac, can we really believe Jamie Foxx got a pass? Doubtful. Also, maybe Sidney Poitier must have also played a role, since they're all friends. That might be why Foxx decided to spill the tea on both Sidney and OPR. Now, here's where it gets wild. Questioning if OPR had a hand in Quincy taking a liking to Foxx might feel skeptical, but hold on. This is not OPR first rodeo when it comes to being in the mix of some messy situations. Remember that British actress Katie Ann Noble? Well, she dropped a bomb claiming OPR was basically in cahoots with Harvey Weinstein's not-so-great exploits. According to Katie, she was wowed when she first met Weinstein at a London event, where he was chilling with supermodel Naomi Campbell. And to top it off, OPR was hanging off his arm like they were the ultimate trio. She spilled the beans in a teary press conference in Manhattan to discuss the S***ficking lawsuit she filed a day earlier against Weinstein in Manhattan federal court, sharing how she initially thought Weinstein had something fantastic in store for her when she met him in London. Fast forward to Cannes in 2014, she innocently brings her showreel to his hotel room, thinking it's all business. But surprise, surprise. Once inside, Weinstein doesn't give a hoot about her showreel. Instead, he starts getting touchy-feely while casually throwing in the idea of hooking her up with a modeling agency in London. Talk about a plot twist. Noble joins the lineup of actresses and models claiming Weinstein crossed the line, using promises of career boosts to get what he wanted. And this is someone OPR been rubbing shoulders with for years. All right, quick recap for those not in the loop. Harvey Weinstein, big shot American filmmaker, basically became the poster boy for the #MeToo movement. You know, that whole wave exposing SA. So rewind 5 years, and what had been the gossip in Hollywood's back alleys finally went public. News broke with these explosive articles, spilling the tea that Weinstein had been messing with and harassing loads of women for, like, forever. In October 2017, the New York Times and the New Yorker reported that more than a dozen women accused Weinstein of harassing, A-ing, or R-wording them. Many other women in the film industry subsequently reported similar experiences with Weinstein, who denied any non-consensual S. As a result of these allegations, Weinstein was dismissed from his production company, suspended from the British Academy of Film and Television Arts, and expelled from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. He also resigned from the Directors Guild of America and was denounced by leading figures in politics whom he had supported. The Los Angeles Police Department opened a criminal investigation for alleged R, and New York and London police began investigating other SA allegations. On October 10, 2017, Weinstein's wife, Georgina Chapman, announced that she was leaving him. Their divorce was finalized in July 2021. Those bombshell SA claims against Weinstein didn't just fade away. Nope, they kicked off this whole national reckoning in the US, a tidal wave against harassment and A that got dubbed the Weinstein effect. Combine that with some other harassment cases earlier in the year, and you've got a full-blown storm. Thanks to the Weinstein reports and the #MeToo movement exploding on social media, people started coming forward left and right, sharing their own stories of misconduct that had been tucked away. It wasn't just Hollywood feeling the heat. This avalanche of allegations reached across various industries. The result? Swift exits for many powerful dudes, not just in the US, but this thing spread like wildfire around the globe. The world suddenly felt like it was flipping the script on those who'd been abusing their power. In 2019, the documentary Untouchable was released with interviews from several of his accusers. The New York County District Attorney's Office charged Weinstein with R, criminal SA, and SEX misconduct for incidents involving two separate women on May 25, 2018. He was arrested the same day after surrendering to the New York City Police Department, NYPD, and released after a $1 million bail was posted on his behalf. He surrendered his passport and was required to wear an ankle monitor, with travel being restricted to New York and Connecticut. His lawyer, Benjamin Brafman, said Weinstein would plead not guilty. A trial date was set for January 6, 2020. On that date, Weinstein was also charged in Los Angeles with R wording one woman and SA-ing another in 2013. On June 8, 2022, Weinstein was formally charged by the Metropolitan Police with 2 counts of indecent A against a woman in London between July 31st and August 31st, 1996. After deliberating for 5 days, a jury convicted Weinstein on February 24, 2020, of 2 of 5 criminal charges, 1 count of criminal SA in the first degree and 1 count of R in the third degree. The jury found him not guilty regarding predatory SA, which could have led to a life sentence. He was remanded to jail at Rikers Island in New York City pending his sentencing hearing on March 11th, when he was sentenced to 23 years in prison. He was then transferred to Wendy Correctional Facility in Erie County, New York. He stated through his attorneys that he would appeal the verdict. Weinstein was stripped of his honorary CBE, Commander of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire, on September 18, 2020. On June 2, 2022, the New York State Supreme Court, Appellate Division, First Department upheld the verdicts and judgment on appeal. For the court's decision, Judge Angela Mazzarelli wrote, "We perceive no basis for reducing the sentence, and we have considered defendants' remaining arguments and find them unavailing." On August 25, 2022, he was granted a further appeal before the New York Court of Appeals. On July 20, 2021, Weinstein was flown to Los Angeles and taken to the Twin Towers Correctional Facility. The trial in Los Angeles commenced in October 2022. Weinstein was charged with 11 counts of R, forcible oral copulation, and SEX battery, stemming from alleged acts between 2004 and 2013. He was found guilty of 3 of 7 charges. 4 of the initial 11 charges were dropped on December 19, 2022. Convictions included charges of R, forced oral copulation, and third-degree SEX misconduct. On February 23, 2023, Weinstein was sentenced to 16 years in prison for these convictions. His sentence in California prisons must be served separately from, consecutively to rather than concurrently to, his time served in New York. Can you believe it? With all the crazy stuff about Weinstein, you'd figure someone as big shot as OPR would be steering way clear, right? But get this, according to TMZ, Weinstein spilled the beans saying OPR pushed him to defend himself publicly. Now that's raising some eyebrows. Was OPR actually riding shotgun with Weinstein against all these women? Hold up though. OPR camp hit back saying they never had a direct chat and she was just thinking about a TV interview. Plot twist, huh? And check this out. During her Golden Globe speech, OPR zipped it on the Weinstein talk. But in other moments, she's been clear that this whole cultural shift isn't just about Weinstein, it's way bigger. OPR is playing chess while the rest of us are just figuring out checkers. All right, OPR is like the heavyweight champ of the industry, no doubt. Sure, there are these rumors flying around, but come on, you can't ignore the impact she's made. Let's dive into the OPR saga, shall we? Working in local media, Winfrey was both the youngest news anchor and the first Black female news anchor at Nashville's WLAC TV, now WTVF-TV, where she often covered the same stories as John Tesh, who worked at a competing Nashville station. In 1976, she moved to Baltimore's WJZ-TV to co-anchor the 6 o'clock news. In 1977, she was removed as co-anchor and worked in lower-profile positions at the station. She was then recruited to join Richard Scheer as co-host of WJZ's local talk show, People Are Talking, which premiered on August 14, 1978. She also hosted the local version of Dialing for Dollars. In 1984, Winfrey relocated to Chicago to host WLS-TV's low-rated half-hour morning talk show, AM Chicago, after being hired by that station's general manager, Dennis Swanson. The first episode aired on January 2, 1984. Within months after Winfrey took over, the show went from last place in the ratings to overtaking Donahue as the highest-rated talk show in Chicago. The movie critic Roger Ebert persuaded her to sign a syndication deal with King World. Ebert predicted that she would generate 40 times as much revenue as his television show, At the Movies. It was then renamed The OPR Winfrey Show and expanded to a full hour. The first episode was broadcast nationwide on September 8, 1986. Winfrey's syndicated show brought in double Donahue's national audience, displacing Donahue as the #1 daytime talk show in America. Their much-publicized contest was the subject of enormous scrutiny. According to Time magazine in August 1988, few people would have bet on OPR Winfrey's swift rise to host of the most popular talk show on TV. In a field dominated by white males, she is a Black female of ample bulk. As interviewers go, she is no match for, say, Phil Donahue. What she lacks in journalistic toughness, she makes up for in plain-spoken curiosity, robust humor, and, above all, empathy. Guests with sad stories to tell are apt to rouse a tear in OPRI. They, in turn, often find themselves revealing things they would not imagine telling anyone, much less a national TV audience. It is the talk show as a group therapy session. In the early years of the OPR Winfrey Show, the program was classified as a tabloid talk show. In the mid-1990s, Winfrey began to host shows on broader topics such as heart disease, geopolitics, spirituality, and meditation. She interviewed celebrities on social issues they were directly involved with, such as cancer, charity work, or substance abuse, and hosted televised giveaways. The later years of the show faced accusations that Winfrey was promoting junk science. This has manifested as criticisms of Winfrey for promoting particular guests whose medical commentaries, both on her show and in the wider media, frequently lack supporting science. The series finale of the OPR Winfrey Show aired on May 25, 2011. In 1993, Winfrey hosted a rare primetime interview called Michael Jackson Talks to OPR with Michael Jackson, which became the 4th most watched event in American television history, as well as the most watched interview ever, with an audience of 36.5 million. On December 1, 2005, Winfrey appeared on The Late Show with David Letterman for the first time in 16 years to promote the new Broadway musical, The Color Purple, which she produced. The episode was hailed by some as the television event of the decade and helped Letterman attract his largest audience in more than 11 years, 13.45 million viewers. Although a much-rumored feud was said to have been the cause of the rift, both Winfrey and Letterman balked at such talk. "I want you to know, it's really over, whatever you thought was happening," said Winfrey. On September 10, 2007, Letterman made his first appearance on the OPR Winfrey Show, as its season premiere was filmed in New York City. In 2006, rappers Ludacris, 50 Cent, and Ice Cube criticized Winfrey for what they perceived as an anti-hip-hop bias. In an interview with GQ magazine, Ludacris said that Winfrey gave him a hard time about his lyrics and edited comments he made during an appearance on her show with the cast of the film Crash. He also said that he wasn't initially invited on the show with the rest of the cast. Winfrey responded by saying that she is opposed to rap lyrics that marginalize women, but enjoys some artists, including Kanye West, who appeared on her show. She said she spoke with Ludacris backstage after his appearance to explain her position and said she understood that his music was for entertainment purposes, but that some of his listeners might take it literally. In 2009, Winfrey was criticized for allowing actress Suzanne Somers to appear on her show to discuss hormone treatments that are not accepted by mainstream medicine. Critics have also suggested that Winfrey is not tough enough when questioning celebrity guests or politicians whom she appears to like. Lisa DeMarais, a media columnist for The Washington Post, stated, "OPR doesn't do follow-up questions unless you're an author who's embarrassed her by fabricating portions of a supposed memoir she's plugged for her book club." In 2021, she conducted an interview with Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, and her husband Prince Harry, which was broadcast globally and received international media attention. Winfrey has co-authored 5 books. At the announcement of a weight loss book in 2005, co-authored with her personal trainer Bob Greene, it was said that her undisclosed advance fee had broken the record for the world's highest book advance fee, previously held by the autobiography of former U.S. President Bill Clinton. Winfrey's company created the OPR.com website to provide resources and interactive content related to her shows, magazines, book club, and public charity. OPR.com averages more than 70 million page views and more than 6 million users per month and receives approximately 20,000 emails each week. Winfrey initiated OPR Child Predator Watch List through her show and website to help track down accused child M. Within the first 48 hours, 2 of the featured men were captured. Winfrey was called arguably the world's most powerful woman by CNN and Time, arguably the most influential woman in the world by the American Spectator, one of the 100 people who most influenced the 20th century, and one of the most influential people from 2004 to 2011 by Time. Winfrey is the only person to have appeared in the latter list on 10 occasions. At the end of the 20th century, Life listed Winfrey as both the most influential woman and the most influential Black person of her generation. And in a cover story profile, the magazine called her America's most powerful woman. In 2007, USA Today ranked Winfrey as the most influential woman and most influential Black person of the previous quarter century. Ladies' Home Journal also ranked Winfrey number 1 in their list of the most powerful women in America, and then Senator Barack Obama in 2007 said she may be the most influential woman in the country. In 1998, Winfrey became the first woman and first African American to top Entertainment Weekly's list of the 101 most powerful people in the entertainment industry. Forbes named her the world's most powerful celebrity in 2005, 2007, 2008, 2010, and 2013. Man, OPR has got this crazy long list of achievements that'll leave you dizzy. I mean, she's pretty much taken over the world, right? But here's where things start to get a bit wild. With all the incredible stuff she's accomplished, it's kinda hard to imagine she might be mixed up in some shady stuff. There's the whole link with Weinstein, the whole drama with Jamie Foxx, and all those rumors buzzing around Quincy Jones's place and Sidney Poitier. It's a lot to wrap your head around. Makes you wonder, has OPR been pulling strings behind the scenes for a while now? Some people out there are tossing around the idea that OPR is all about chasing that cash, willing to do whatever it takes to line her pockets. So what do you think? Is this the beginning of the end for OPR, or will she find a way to wiggle out of this mess like she's done in the past? Drop your thoughts down below and we'll catch you in the next video.